Iran says they're ready for war. They shot down one of our drones last night. And AOC has declared war again on intelligence and on meaning and on words and, Lord have mercy, on victims. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. Dark night rolling in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. So the Iranians shot down one of our drones over international waters and international airspace, and they're basically taunting the United States. Lindsey Graham has come out saying, if something like this happens again, we need to start bombing their navy and destroying their oil refineries along the coast. It would be a very one-sided battle. The issue is, do we want to go that far? Iran has been behind a recent cruise missile attack on Saudi Arabia firefighting installation. No one was killed, no one was hurt. For whatever reason that belongs to them, they're ratcheting things up. Now, usually when a country like Iran, or what we would call third world country, not that they are a third world country, but when a country does this, it's usually because of some internal problem. They are trying to appease somebody internally or silence somebody and bring unity against a common enemy. They're a fairly wealthy nation, so I'm still trying to figure out what's motivating them. I think what they want is to just go ahead and push forward as quickly as possible with getting the nuclear material that they need to build a nuclear bomb. Some people think that they already have the capability to make one. Others think that they're 4 to 6 months away. Israeli intelligence recently, or a former member of Israeli intelligence recently said that they are 6 months away from having a nuclear bomb if they want one. So is this Iran's way of saying to the world, we're going forward. The U.S. pulled out of the deal that Obama made with us. We don't care what any of the rest of you do. We're going forward. We're going to obtain a nuclear weapon. I don't know. I don't know what is motivating them on the political level. I do know what motivates them for those that are deeply religious, and that is their hatred for Sunni Islam and their hatred for what they call infidels or crusaders, or polytheists, or Jewish dogs and Christian dogs. I mean, that is what Islam teaches about Christianity and Judaism and about the West, because the West is predominantly influenced by Christianity and Judeo-Christian ethics. And they hate us. And it's because it's a part of their religion to hate us. And they also hate Sunni Muslims because the Sunnis have been, for the most part, wielding authority over them for 1,400 years, and it has been a very bloody and horrific contest at different points. So President Trump hasn't said anything as of this filming. I guarantee you that leaders of the Pentagon are putting in place any number of options to give the president, and you can take it to the bank that President Trump is going to do something. The issue is this. Does he want to have just a little bit more? Does he want to have just a little bit more to go after them with? The Iranians have bombed several tankers, 4 in one area and 2 in another. Right? They're putting mines in the water. They have now fired on one of our drones and missed, fired on one of our drones and taken it down. And by the way, to put this in perspective, these drones have a wingspan larger than a Boeing 737. These are not drones like you see in a backyard. These are massive, massive aircrafts costing anywhere from $100 to $180 million a piece. So this is not a kid's drone in a backyard. So they have shot down one of our drones, fired on another. They have mined various tankers. the question that President Trump would ask, and I would ask him and suggest him if I was one of his immediate advisors, is how many offenses do you want to give the Iranians till you respond? The more the Iranians do against us and against our allies in the region, the more people will be in support of a fierce retaliation. Lindsey Graham is saying bomb their Navy. We could take out their entire Navy in a matter of minutes with coordinated missile launches. Take out the refineries along the coast. Those would be a very serious escalation. And at that point, we would have to know that the Iranians are going to attack us back, and they're going to attack us in an asymmetrical fashion. They don't have the ability to sink our Navy. So what they would do is they would fire on our ships, but they would turn loose a whole bunch of terrorists in Lebanon, in Palestine, in Palestinian territories, and if they could get them into Jerusalem or into Israel, Tel Aviv, wherever. So that is also part of the equation that President Trump is weighing. If he responds in a way that is fierce, what will the Iranians do next? What loss of life will there be? I don't know. We're going to see. I promise you I'll keep you posted, but please understand that it is a part of Islamic ideology and theology to fight Christians and Jews. So that's all the motivation that they need, is to attack what they call the great Satan, us. I've got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go after AOC and her minions and hopefully inspire you to just not take it anymore. Did you see President Trump's announcement out of Orlando? It was so awesome. I have one thing I need to take issue with in it, but it was just an awesome night. It was like a party for us. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. AOC, we're going to play that song in case you haven't seen it later on in the broadcast. But friends, this is a woman who is shameless and shameful. There's a passage in the Bible that comes up a couple of times where God says of his errant people, they do not know how to blush. They're so brazen, so evil, and in her case, so foolish, and I mean this with surgical precision, I'm not trying to be unkind, but so stupid. She is not an intelligent woman. And I'm not trying to be mean like name calling. She's actually an idiot. She really is. And you and I have to be freed to call her an idiot. Because if you've got a village idiot and you don't call the idiot an idiot, then the village idiot gets to start determining what the village does. If everyone is, oh, we can't say that she's an idiot. Well, don't honor her. Don't honor her stupidity. And don't be afraid of offending people nearby. She's not an intelligent person. She's an embarrassment to herself and others. She's shameful and she's shameless and she doesn't know how to blush. She doesn't know when to just like, oh yeah, I really did overstate it. She's stupid. But her followers are not intelligent either. That's the problem. They're not wise, they're not intelligent, they're not holy, they're not godly, they're not God-fearing. There's no fear of God before their eyes. This her rise has such an ethical component of where we have sunk to as a nation. Only out of this disgusting level of mire, of evil, of iniquity, and stupidity, only out of a mire this deep could someone like Alexandria Ocasio rise and not be considered a specter or a horror to the eyes. 30 years ago, this woman would be considered a horror. If she was, she's one of the most powerful Democrats in the country right now. If she had arisen 30 years ago, Democrats would be browbeating her into a corner, telling her to shut up, sit down, and getting ready to run a primary against her. But the Democrat Party has gone so far off the rails, so far against Christ, so far against God's law, so far against innocent babies and against marriage and against private property and against hard work, so much in favor of communism and socialism. They're so far off the rails ethically, politically, that they don't dare to lay a hand on Ocasio-Cortez, but even worse, they're dancing to the tune that she fiddles. They're all paying lip service to the Green New Deal. They're terrified because of her base. They're terrified because she can mobilize voters. Now, it's almost funny. I loathe Chuck Todd. I really do. Chuck Todd is just not a good man. He's over at NBC. Rush calls him Up Chuck Todd. Chuck Todd rebuked her. Chuck, I applaud you. I applaud you. Chuck had the integrity to go after her. A broken clock is right twice a day. I promise you, if you watch the Talking Heads and listen to the Talking Heads in the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to hear them falling over themselves to congratulate Chuck Todd for having this much integrity or this much integrity to go after AOC. So in case you didn't understand what this is all about, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman from New York City, said that President Trump is a fascist and that he is running concentration camps on the southern border. He said it, or she said it repeatedly, over and over, at least 3 times that I heard, maybe more, that President Trump is running concentration camps. Now, I know we're going to go over on time, but I want to go ahead and play Chuck Todd's response. This is great.
Welcome back. Tonight, I'm obsessed with what's happening at our southern border. You can call our government's detention of migrants many things, depending on how you see it. It's a stain on our nation, maybe, a necessary evil to others, a deal with untenable situation, perhaps. But do you know what you can't call it? Take a listen.
The United States is running concentration camps on our southern border, and that is exactly what they are. They are concentration camps.
That was obviously New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on Instagram. After being criticized, Ocasio-Cortez tried to make a distinction between concentration camps and Nazi death camps, where the industrialized mass slaughter of the Holocaust occurred. Fair enough, but Congresswoman, tens of thousands were also brutalized, tortured, starved, and ultimately died in concentration camps, camps like Dachau. If you want to criticize the shameful treatment of people at our southern border, fine. You'll have plenty of company, but be careful comparing them to Nazi concentration camps, because they're not at all comparable in the slightest. But here's where it's upsetting as her comment. Some Democrats have been reluctant to condemn her remarks. They don't want to get criticized on Twitter. Fellow New York Congressman Jerry Nadler tweeted in response, "One of the lessons from the Holocaust is never again. We fail to learn that lesson when we don't call out such inhumanity right in front of us." Jerry Nadler surely knows migrant detainment camps are not the same as concentration camps. So why didn't he just say that? Why are we so sheepish calling out people we agree with politically these days? Obviously, this isn't a Democratic Party thing. It's an even bigger problem on the Republican side of the aisle when it comes to President Trump and the reluctance there. Are we really so ensconced in our political bubbles, liberal versus conservative, that we cannot talk about right versus wrong anymore? Some things are bigger than partisanship, or at least they used to be. And in the interim, the crux of what's truly at stake is lost. What is this country going to do about what's happening at the border in this humanitarian crisis? We'll get to that at some point, I guess, after we have this debate. I have no doubt Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez cares deeply about what's happening at the border. But she just did the people there a tremendous disservice by distracting from their plight. She said she didn't use those words lightly. Well, neither did I.
Hold on. Let me applaud him. Chuck, I applaud you, sir. I applaud you. I don't care for a half of an ounce of your politics. And I think you're part of the fake news problem. But nevertheless, Nevertheless, he had the integrity. He had the integrity and the courage to call out AOC on the idiocy. See, friends, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, "Oh, you just slipped in the word Nazi, Chuck. You slipped in the word Nazi." Hey, little girl, silly girl, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when anyone thinks of concentration camps, that's what they think of. So when you say, "I'm going to concentration camps in Germany or in Poland," if you go there now, there's still, some of them are still there. Go to Auschwitz, go to Dachau, you can go to these Buchenwald, some of them are still there. You don't say, "I'm going to Nazi concentration camps." You say, "I'm going to concentration camps." That's what it means. And she knew that's what it meant. And when she calls the president a fascist and says that he is running concentration camps, it's a lie, people. It's a brazen, hideous lie, and it shows that she's stupid, and it shows that the Democrat Party is they've lost their mind. What's his name? Gerald, I can't remember his name, one of the congressmen that's trying to get Trump impeached? Adler. He said, "Yes, we've learned never again from the Jews." And rather than rebuke her, because you might remember that Jews were tortured, women were raped, they were murdered by the tens of thousands, probably by the millions in concentration camps. No one's murdering these people. We're feeding them. We're giving them medical attention. They're in air-conditioned buildings. Okay? So to call what the illegal immigrants are enjoying, meals, medical care, air-conditioned building, healthy sanitary facilities for going to the bathroom, fresh drinking water, to call that a concentration camp is an insult to our intelligence, and it's an insult to those who died in the concentration camps. And that's what's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in the next few days. I've got to take a break. When we come back, we'll poke a little bit more fun at Ocasio-Cortez with our new song, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Alcohol. Oh, you're going to love it if you haven't seen it. Don't go away.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. That which is ridiculous deserves to be ridiculed. G.K. Chesterton said that. I hope that you enjoy this music clip. Howdy, friends. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is an inspiration to millions of people. She came from the bar halls straight to the halls of Congress, writing legislation. So we thought it was time to do a song honoring her source of inspiration, alcohol. She's a USA barmaid, capital girl. She screwdrivers can retrofit a brave new world. She's certain white Russian, so the game. She knows aviation cause hurricanes. Mr. Tom Collins taught her all she says. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
The price tag for everything that you've laid out in your campaign is $40 trillion.
A tequila sunrise, cosmopolitan girl riding tall against oil on a Moscow mule. Her branches of government are coke and rum with a little hanky-panky. She don't sound so dumb. A cool sea breeze blowing through her head. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I'm assuming I'm not going to get an answer for the other $38 trillion.
She's got margarita mojito. She looks hot in a double shot sidecar show. She does her math with Long Island iced tea and Manhattan drives all her policies.
$38 trillion short of paying for it.
Do you believe in magic?
She's slamming down traditionals at every meal. Whoops, she just puked up a Green New Deal. She likes her black bushes dressed in red. She's cracking old-fashioned Democrat heads, drinking blood and sand in Miss Omar's fairs. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a dark and stormy cow fart in Pelosi's bed. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Ooh, AOC, what you do to me, baby? AOC. I need to listen to you after I had a 6-pack.
What did you mean by that?
Maybe you can make that a 12-pack. I can drink her purdy. I just can't drink her smart.
Rather, all 3 chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2020.
All right, friends, I can drink her pretty, but I can't drink her smart. I'll be right back. Please don't go away. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, "I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life." Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, "What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced." Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. Welcome back to the program, friend. I'm an activist, I'm a leader, I take action. President Trump's speech was great. There was one problem, and it was a significant one. He said that the greatest moral crisis facing us as a country, ethical crisis, moral crisis, was the southern border. And that's not true. The greatest crisis is the shedding of innocent blood, the murder of our babies. Day after day, over 3,000 babies being killed every day. And with that one correction, it was a great speech. I hope you got to see it. If you didn't, it's worth playing in its entirety. We had the kids out there, popcorn, drinks. We were watching, we were cheering. It was great. All right. I'm going to Delaware at the end of next week to go and confront Bishop Mooley, his name is. He's the bishop of Joe Biden. So this is a man who is a Catholic bishop, and in all the years he's been in office, he has never once rebuked or said a single public word about Joe Biden, communion, his policies, killing babies, the Hyde Amendment. Now he wants to betray that. We're going to confront him. If you can join us, join us. If you can support us financially, please go to our website, randallterry.com. Go to our website, make a contribution online, or call the number you see on the screen. God bless you.